look how close he is. I mean, it's bigger. You can hear him. I really hear the volume too. That's tremendous. Happy Father's Day to all of our father friends out there. Happy hello to whoever's first with us today. We're going to have a good time today. This is going to be very interesting because these last few days have become, just been so packed. One thing I love about Trump is he always has action for you. And I know I got to grease this chair. I just have never done it. He always has action for you. And by the way, we're going to be going to Volp's house pretty soon. We're looking forward to seeing him and Chris and running around because she always likes to pull me off. Get him off. Come on, Joe. Let's go eat. So I go to see Chris. She can't get rid of me when I'm in the house. If she could throw me out the door, that's about all she can do, right? So that's about, she wouldn't do it because I love Chris. Chris and I get along. Chris and I understand each other. It's like Joe understands my wife. It's like, it's amazing. You have friends who are married. The wives like the other husbands better than they like their own husband. It's like, am I wrong? That's just the way it is. It's absolutely incredible.
Where's Margaret at? That's what I want to know.
Where's she? She loves you, Joe. She thinks you're smart. She thinks I should be talking to you more. She doesn't know why you even put up with me. I hang up. She says to me, and he listens. She says, I hear you, and he puts up with you. And I'm going,
it gives her a little bit of a break.
It does. Gives her a big break, believe me. And then, okay, here we go. Let's hear. Okay, today we're talking about Trump voters, buyer's remorse. Let's start talking about what's going on. There's just so much going on in the world right now, or in America. We really have to start talking about what's really happening, what really isn't happening, okay? Let's start with the wars first. I'm sorry, I was going to start with the economy. But what's going on in the Middle East is just absolutely crazy. And it's also happening in Ukraine. And I don't think people are seeing it. Well, of course, the Middle East is overshadowing Ukraine. But didn't the president come in saying he was the peace candidate? The PEACE candidate. Didn't he come in and say he was the peace candidate? Everything was going to happen right away. Putin was his buddy, okay? He knew how to deal with everybody. Hamas was going to roll over as soon as he became president, and they were going to turn over all the hostages. And where are we? The wars are worse. We're in open warfare, major. It's been quiet warfare. I don't know if you use the word Cold War in the Middle East over the last 30 years or so, but it's like about 3,000 years. But it's like open warfare every day. There's just bombings going on everywhere between Iran and Israel. It's like, who knows what's going to happen? We're just sitting back. But where's the peace? Trump said he was going to come in and bring peace, didn't he, Joe? And go ahead.
A little more complicated than he thought.
A little bit more. He basically came in and lit, who knows if he lit a fire or what he did. Meanwhile, nobody's looking at Ukraine and Russia. Russia is pounding Ukraine, pounding them. It's no longer on the front page. Trump says, that's my friend Putin. Then he goes, every 2 weeks, I'm going to look at this in 2 weeks. I'm going to look at this in 2 weeks. And he does nothing. He refuses to deal with it. Where is the peace president? There's no peace. He should have brought his peace pipe. The Indians knew what they were doing, the American Indians. Right?
It's like kids, they have to fight it out a little bit first, right?
Oh, yeah. That's what you got to do. And after all, doesn't Senator Joni Ernst think, who's one of his big supporters, at death? Who cares, right? It's like it happens. It happens. I know she didn't say it as to this. She said it as to Medicare, which made it even worse. But when you see that going on, you say, hey, so what I want to know from MAGA people are, where do they stand on all this? Do you think this is good? Do you think MAGA people that being what's going on in the Middle East and Ukraine is good? Do you think is he blowing it? Is he doing a good job? Do you think he's doing a bad job? Do you think he's just rocking? Do you think he can't just go and wash his hands of it? One of the reasons you guys voted for him was to bring peace. Okay? I don't see it happening. I only see a lot worse happening. Because what's happening in the Middle East and Ukraine is Devolution. We're back to it again. This is the Trump administration. Devo. I know I keep banging on Devo. I feel the music's so good. I hope I'm not telling you not to listen to it. I tell you, listen to it. Are we not men? We are Devo. Are we not men? D-E-V-O. Just such a great song. Great album. But that's we're de-evolving. We're going backwards. We're becoming snails with little tails. And I say it's just that kind of have fun with it, but it's true. War's getting bigger, not smaller. The president comes in and the war gets bigger. Two wars get much bigger. That means we're devolving. You talked about Biden. You talked about how bad they would have these investigations and everything. I didn't see this open warfare going on then. I saw support for Israel. I mean, it's kind of the way Trump is, but I didn't see this open warfare. What I saw was an American administration trying to have an end game, trying to bring it to an end so that parties could, who knows, come up with some type of settlement at the end. That's not what we have here. We had the peace guy who said he was just going to walk in. He was going to be peace because he said it was going to walk in. Then he was going to build a Trump Tower on the Gaza Riviera. Remember? He was going to do all whatever happened. Then he was going to move all 3 million people or however many somewhere else. Where was he going to move them? To Egypt? I don't know. So none of this has come together, and all it's done is gotten worse and worse. So I ask our MAGA friends. I don't see him talking to us today, Joe. Isn't that interesting? How bad could President Biden have been? He was fighting hard to try to bring some type of day after settlement. That's what he was trying to work for. That's not what we have here. No peace. We have massive war. Ukraine, Putin is just raining missiles down, just going. Spartacus, we love you, just going crazy, just killing people. That's my friend. They said he asked his supporters, he asked his backers, I'm sorry, his was Secretary of State or whatever, is Putin just losing it? Am I like wrong? I don't understand. No, you don't. I don't know how you could be so dumb, because I don't think he's dumb. He's not dumb, was what we go back to. He wants the three power triumvirate in the world: China, Russia, and the United States. And by supporting Russia, he's letting this go. I'll tell you this, though, when you take a step back, Joe, let's look at the nukes. If you were, when Russia started invading Ukraine, do you think they would have invaded them if Ukraine had nuclear weapons?
No.
And we said to them, get rid of them, right? I agree with you. So you look at this, you can almost understand why everybody wants nuclear weapons, which is horrible. But the reason most people didn't, now I'm going to get back to the real Joe, to what we've been talking about for years, okay, what the MAGA people miss. The American century put it into such a position that you didn't have to worry about a zillion different countries having nukes. If one started trying to develop nukes, there were agreements all around the world to try to work with them to stop, to do what it took. There was no final answer in Iran during Obama, but everybody was trying to keep it together. Now people are sitting back going, wow, I wish I had nukes. It's not good. It's not good. So what Trump has done internationally has just broken things out. What do you think, he'd hit North Korea? Of course, he loves Kim Jong-un. Forget that. He'd help him refloat his boat. But at the same time, do you think he'd know? Because they got nukes. I mean, so you look at this and you go, what is going on? Where is the peace? Before we go anywhere else, what do you think, Joe?
See, I want to...
Forget it, Mohammed. Good.
Trump came in with the philosophy that people are motivated by greed, by money, by power, whatever. And he thought he could negotiate through transactional interactions. And I think with respect to the war in Ukraine, he believed that if Ukraine wasn't willing to work with them and give him his minerals or whatever, that he was just going to side with Putin and put so much pressure on Ukraine that they had to basically surrender. And for the Middle East, again, I think he was trying to appeal to people and say, look, we could turn this area into something that makes a lot of money, something that's prosperous, and that would be a good outcome. But I think what he's finding is that people have more passion than just, financial gain, that people want to defend their country, that people have a certain identity of their tribe, and they want their tribe to exist. And And so I think that's what's complicating the picture, that people are motivated, the more than just transactional interactions, but are motivated by a sense of community that they want to preserve.
Let's call it 4 letters, Joe. Hate. That's what they're motivated by. Let me hit something. Whoa, sorry. Let me hit something here. I saw, I don't know, Notorious. I saw Hendrick. I like what you wrote there. MEGA, not MAGA. I like that. Very good. Jesse, having news, you're right, is seen as having power and leverage. It is. And that's why everybody wants, right on, Joe, and that's why everybody wants to do that. Because, and have it. So now here we are, well, Israel's trying to stop Iran because they're afraid Iran would use it on them, and Iran would. And so you sit there and you go, but it's just going to, how does it just stop? I mean, you have to assume that the Saudis are going to want to get nuclear, and who else? UAE, I don't know, Oman, all these guys are going to want nuclear down there because the more people that have, they got it. So it's really just a real issue. And where is the president? Where is the president? You know where the president is? He's out on his 79th birthday having a good time, having some tanks parade before him, okay? You want to do it right on, but I'm starting to wonder if this 79th year isn't getting to this guy, okay? Because remember, when you're 79, you're starting your 80th year. So this guy's is in his 80th year of life. And that's who we're dealing with. I just think he's so tight. This is how I do it. I do it this way, this way, this way. If I push too hard, I'll back off and go with it. But how can you back off? What's he doing here? He's doing nothing. There's no peace. Now, understand, Joe. Maybe there is no answer in the Middle East. I've always said it's been, 2,000-3,000 years of a black hole, right? Of hatred. It's the black hole of hatred. So maybe there is no answer. But he came in and said that he was going to get all the hostages and take care of the problem as soon as he came in, didn't he? That's what he said. So wrong, we're right, he's wrong. But it's not the issue. People listen to him, they believe him for some reason. Look at Ukraine. Impossible there too. Nobody's walking away. Putin's not walking away. He has written books about this. Oh, I love those hearts. Thank you. He has written books about this or whatever. I've read a lot of his stuff. He wants Ukraine. It's his. Please give us thumbs up. We love you, even if you disagree with us. He loves Ukraine. He thinks it's his. He thinks there's no Ukraine. It's only Russia. Trump doesn't know this. The people around him don't know it. No, now look what else is happening, Joe. Let me give you a look into the future, because we've been talking about this. There's the AUKUS, or whatever it's called, that Biden put together, which was Australia, Japan, America, and I think maybe 1 or 2 other small countries. But those are the big 3. We were going to work with Australia to have them build, because they're helping us. We can't build right now. We don't have enough a defense building. That's where we really need it. That's where the money should go, so you can build defense if you need it, so it's ready to go. Hopefully you never need it, but you're ready to do it. They're going to be building some nuclear subs that we're giving them the plans for, so they're going to work with us to counter China. Okay, even though, understand, Australia and China are like that. They're very close. They do a lot of trading and they do everything. People don't understand how close they are, yet they are our friends and have always been our friends, okay? So they want to work with us. They are now talking about, at the Defense Department, overseeing this and wondering if they should move forward with this AUKUS partnership. Now think about this. Australia and Japan wants to work with us, our buds, our buddies. Japan's putting big money into the steel, right? They're buying U.S. steel. These are our friends. You're saying you're going to start looking into this? We got a deal. Let's let them start putting these subs together so we have our flank covered. This way we don't have to worry about it. We're people missing. Joe, you know me, I get all worked up, and luckily we're getting some more people. Thank you all for coming on. Happy Father's Day for everybody. We're getting a lot of thumbs up. We love you all. We love fathers, man, because we both are fathers, so we can't not love ourselves. Let's put it this way. I don't love myself. I love Joe. I'm not sure if Joe loves me, but Joe puts up with me. So we put up, I love you too, baby. So it's a happy fight, right? Thumbs up on Father's Day. Come on. Not only that, they put up that fake Grandfather's Day. You ever see that? Joe, as we're pulling over, my grandkids call me up and say, but are you really our dad, right? I say, yes, I am. I'm a grandfather. I'm a father that's grand. I'm your father that's grand. I'm still around. I'm not on a cane yet. Like Uncle Joe. It's the same type of thing. So you go, it's all Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to everybody. Dads deserve it. Mothers are great. Don't get me wrong. And I don't want to hear about grandparents. Fathers are cool. We're there. The two of us are okay. I hope my kids kind of think it came out okay. So we'll see when I know my granddaughters, man, they were all over me today. Woo! Them little goose. I love them. Okay. There we go. I'm sorry I had to move. I just got worked up. I love the kids. I love America. I love people. I love Father's Day. What am I going to say? It's a good day, Joe. After everything that's happened this weekend, how can it not be good when we talk about how great fathers are? And let me tell you, just enjoy yourselves today, dads. Let the kids help you. Let everybody else work with you. And then go back and be the dad that you are, that they love you for. That's why there's a Father's Day, because guys can be good fathers. And I say, right on. Okay.
One of these days, we should focus a little bit on men in this country and what's it mean to be a father, what's it mean to be a man. But we have other things on the agenda today, but that's something we should get to one of these days.
I'm with it. I'm with it. And there's some good songs about that we can get into one day if you want. Some nice little soul songs are pretty cool, pretty big in the late 60s, early 70s. So, but yeah, I'm totally with that. Either way. So there we are. Where's the peace? There's no peace. There's no peace. That's number one. Trump voters, is there buyer's remorse here? Are you bummed about what's going on with the wars? Are you bummed about what's going on with people dying out there? And it's not, who knows? I'm sorry, I just kind of lose my thought, my words sometimes because I can't believe it. But the man is charismatic. He's incredible. Joe, anything else on foreign policy before we go?
I just want to, I really want to interact with the people in the chat today, and especially those people who support Trump. Is this what you were hoping for? I understand you love Trump and Trump 28, that sort of thing. But what I'm really looking for is comments that support or you're a little bit worried about what's happening in terms of foreign affairs. So please, if you have something logical to present, I really want to understand your perspective.
Right on, Joe, but it doesn't have to be logical. I just started seeing some of these.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I just started seeing some of these. Let's see this. Thank you, Jesse. We appreciate it. I'm jumping in here. Jackson, right on. Been good. So look at all these I missed. You love bees, Jackson. Humans need bees, and honey is delicious. What are you going to say? You're talking about skis with Maverick. Okay, have a good time with Maverick. Bees, happy Father's Day. So much love. Hendrick, we love you. Spartacus, of course. Dr. V, Jackson. Okay, Notorious TBG, you're a soft lefty and you immediately jump to ad hominems when someone with a different opinion speaks up. No, Notorious TBG, it's open. I don't know who you're talking about. All that means is somebody is open to listening to the other side and saying right on and maybe saying you may have a point. What's wrong with that? Or you may be wrong. It's not a matter of being a soft lefty. It's a matter of being a strong American who loves his country, as everybody does here, who loves his country. Happy Father's Day, Maverick, who loves his country, okay, and just will do anything for it because it's such a great country and allows us to talk and do all this kind of stuff. Let me keep seeing. I know you love bees. I know that. Okay, Jesse, here we go. Oh, man. Steve, look, you can love Trump. My question isn't, do you hate Trump or like Trump? My question is there buyer's remorse from what the president has been doing as against what he promised? That's what I'm talking about. Call to action. What's up, baby? We love you. Support the deport. Well, it depends. It depends. I don't know about that. You deport criminals. You don't deport hardworking people. You see what's happening with deportation? Let's jump to that. I'm happy you raised it there. The president ICE was going into the farms and into the farmlands where people were picking the vegetables and the fruits and were picking up those people and taking them out. just taking them away. So they said 30 to 50% of the farm workers were not coming to pick the fruits and the vegetables anymore because they were afraid. They were leaving. They were running away because there were so many being picked up. Now understand something. If the president wants to pick up a criminal, isn't that what he said? That's what you voted for, MAGA, right? You voted for that. If the president picks up criminals, I say right on. I got no problem. Violent criminals. I don't mean somebody who sped, who went like 75 in the 60-mile zone. Violent criminals, okay? And they start picking them up and putting them away right on. Give them their due process and then do what you got to do. Right on, Joe? You with that? Okay, good. That's not soft lib. That's real. That's putting it up. That's being an American, okay? But look what happened. They went into the farms and just destroyed the farms with this. Not forget all the taxes and all the issues they've had where they haven't been able to export. Farmers have gotten killed because they put so much money. We talked about this, a couple of months ago, Joe, where they put all this money into these. They were expecting this money from the government to meet their investment, and the government didn't come up with the cash. So the people are stuck and they lost all their money, and now they can't even get their vegetables or fruits picked. So what happens? Trump goes, okay, don't hit those people anymore. But who else did the president decide he didn't want to pick up anymore? Hotel workers and restaurant workers. Now, let me ask you something, Joe. I know this is a really hard question. I'm asking those of you with a MAGA and our liberal friends. Doesn't President Trump own hotels? Doesn't President Trump have an interest in restaurants and maybe in his hotels? Isn't that interesting that all of a sudden ICE can't go to those places and try to pick up those workers? What do you think, Joe, on that one?
Yeah, I was talking with a friend yesterday who's a MAGA supporter and enjoys playing golf. And I asked him what his green fees were. And he said, $80 or so. I said, well, guess what? If we lose all the landscapers and some of the people who are here undocumented who help with keeping the grounds crew going, your greens fees are going to go up to $120, $150. And so you have to understand the economic consequences of going after a lot of the undocumented workers. And it's not that we're saying that people who come into the country illegally should be supported, should have health care, should be taken care of. What we're saying is that we need to approach this in a more comprehensive way. Number one, close the border, which has been done. Number two, the people who've been in this country for a decade, who are good tax-paying individuals, who have families, who have children, who help support the economy, these people should have a pathway to become legal citizens. And that's the issue, isn't people aren't talking about a whole comprehensive strategy to help people become actual citizens.
They're not going to do it, Joe, if they think there's an invasion. I'm with you. I think the first thing if we're going to do that, I don't want to get too deep into becoming citizens, but I think most importantly is we have two others that are more important. Number one, we have DACA, who's grown up. They've been here as Americans all this time, living as Americans. They should become citizens. And all those who've been in line waiting to be citizens, doing it right, applying, have their applications. And what is the holdup? Move it up so those people can become citizens already. You make it so hard. I mean, come on. Most people in America couldn't pass the test it takes to become a citizen. These people pass the test. They learn the history. They learn the government. Get those people, those who are in line. Let's make them citizens already, right? And then the issue Joe's talking about, after we take care of those, which I think are more important, we then get to those people who have been working here and paying taxes and paying Social Security. And remember, guys, those people who may be illegal immigrants, they're not getting Social Security. They're paying in, but they're not getting Social Security, and they don't get tax benefits that you and I get. And they still have to pay, and they really can't work in the banks. They can't do different things, but they're working. Now, understand, greens fees, I couldn't care. I couldn't care less. I was a caddy. I hated golf. I carried the bags, okay? You guys who think I'm just, that's the man. I'm just a regular guy. I carried golf bags. The women were better than the men, by the way, just so you'll know. They tipped okay. They were nice. And I never lost the ball watching. But God, I hated golf. And what was horrible was these guys treated you horribly. They ran around. So who cares about greens fees? You worry about greens fees. I ain't worried about greens fees. I'm worried about, you look at him smiling, he's worried about those greens fees.
I'm not worried. It's the point. I mean, if you go to a restaurant and you order food, your food is going to be more expensive. If you're trying to make your vegan salads or whatever, the lettuce is going to be more
That's
expensive.
the point.
The point is everything is going to be more expensive. And for what?
It's more than more expensive, Joe. If people aren't picking the vegetables, okay? Now I know you're sitting there hitting out of the rough and everything, but if the others aren't picking other people aren't picking the vegetables and picking the fruits, I get in trouble because I got to get in trouble. If they don't pick up the vegetables and the fruits, we can't eat it. It's not there, and we're saying to people, you can't do that. So those of you who love eating vegetables, I do, who love eating fruits, I do, which most people do, we are putting people into a position that they're not picking it anymore, and the farmers are getting big trouble. They don't have cash. Where are the farmers going to come up with the money as we start doing that?
They're in the chat, they're saying we want our slave labor. No, we don't want slave labor. We want a path for these individuals to become full citizens so they can be proud Americans like all of us. And indeed, they're acting like good, proud Americans.
They're
sending their kids to school. They're paying taxes. They're good, law-abiding individuals. We need to make them citizens and treat them with respect as other human beings.
And right on ARMA. I'm jumping into the mosh pit a bit, Joe, here. Please give us thumbs up because everybody's been yelling. Notorious, I'm with it. Right on ARMA. As much brain up with that. You think? Thank you all. Wish you a happy Father's Day. We love you. We keep getting that same answer. That's why I'm short about legals. Okay, right. And yes, Richard, deport from all. It doesn't work that way. No buyer's remorse, Harry says. We actually have a real president instead of just Sleepy Joe. Wait a second, Harry. This president came in and said he was going to make peace. And there is war, much bigger, much more death, more violence, more everything, Harry. How is he a better president? That's not Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe was wide awake. He didn't let this get big. He stopped. He kept the Israelis under control. So they start talking about having some type of end game. All this is doing is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. As against the president who said, I'm walking in and the ball game's over because I'm going to have peace. And it didn't happen, Harry. I'm sorry, Harry. It didn't happen. So tell me why he's doing a good job there, why you don't have buyer's remorse there. I love it. Parade was okay. Michael, you need a parade to be an American? What are you talking about? You need a parade to be proud to be an American? Come on, Mike. I love going into the mosh pit. I'm throwing it in all you guys. I don't care. You don't need, I'm proud to be an American. I was always proud to be an American. That's why I'm just an American citizen. And please go into our channel here, Just an American Citizen. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and go into Dr. Joseph Volpicelli. He is the addiction man in the world.
Dr. V.
Now it's just Dr. V, sorry.
Back to Dr. V.
I never know. He's moving, he's dancing. The guy's got rhythm like I've never seen. So we go to Dr. V, but just jump on in there and see this stuff. I mean, come on. We're right there. Of course I love America. Of course he loves America. If we didn't love America, we wouldn't be here. This president didn't change things. Having a parade, anybody can have a parade. Big deal. Okay, Mike, they have equipment. No, they don't have equipment to pick every fruit. The Wall Street Journal's all over this. Is that Mike? I love Mike. He's on every week. Thanks for coming on, Mike. Listen, the Wall Street Journal had a big article about it. Mike, go right to the Journal. They're showing pictures of these empty fields where people are not picking and they're just staying home. They're showing where they're sending their kids to buy food at the stores because they're afraid they're going to get picked up. Look, you got to get rid of the criminals. You got to get rid of the murders. You got to get rid of the really horrible people. But these people who want to become Americans, who are working here and are helping feed us, slave, where does that word come from? Horrible. That are helping to feed us, that want to go and have the rights that we have and want to be able to say they're an American like we can. Those are the people we work with. Those are the people we're taking out. Those aren't the people that the president said he was going to get rid of. It just wasn't that way, okay? It's really not good. And that's where it is. Let me get back in here. This is what I voted for. Well, I'm happy you voted for that. Everyone has to go through a process. We agree, AOX, but they're already here. My point is it's a three-part thing. The boomers are already, I'm sorry, the boomers, that's us. Lost. Okay. The people who are already here can still line up and do what it takes to get through the process. How about the people who are already in the process, AOX, who have been in the process for years waiting to become a citizen? Why aren't they? I'm saying you got to do all this. Trump's tap dancing for donors, right? He's just whatever it is. He's delivering to, who's he delivering to, Notorious? Makes you a criminal by default. Well, then I suppose that was your great-grandparents criminals? Are you sure that all your great-grandparents came over and did it legally? Tell me, AOX, I mean ADX. Yeah, I don't know. I can't, my grandparents tell me they came over legally. They came in through New York. Right on. How do you know yours didn't? How do you know one wasn't a stowaway? Come on, people have come over to America, done everything they've come to America since the Revolution. What are you talking about? America's all immigrants. They all came from Britain and France and Spain. We all started here, plus all the indigenous who managed to live through what we did to them. So you see, come on, I'm just shaking my head when I want to hear illegals all the time. Okay, here we are. Have a good day.
It sounds like the people who voted for Trump are not disappointed. So that's your answer.
Okay, that's my answer there. So they're happy.
No buyer's remorse.
No buyer's remorse. So you're happy. Let's throw something else out. Good answers. I'm happy. I respect it. How about the economy? What's so good about that? You have shown heavy employment softening. It's just starting to go down. People, they're not letting people off as much, but now Microsoft is now paying people to leave. There's just more companies laying people off. They're sure not hiring. They're sure not expanding. They're sure not bringing people in. What are you going to do when the jobs go down a lot lower? So what? You have a lower interest rate. What good is...
It's June. Where's this big inflation you were talking about?
Well, I said it was going to be... I said it was going to be starting May and June. It is in certain areas. If you look at housewares, it's really big inflation.
I'm a data guy, so what's the consumer price index today?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see the look. We
follow to see if inflation is actually going up.
Well, you see, I look at it differently than you do. Okay, I look at it on the ground. I look at what's going on out there. And I said when the last numbers came out that the numbers were pretty good and stayed pretty stable. But what's happening is if you're on the ground, there's chunks of it that's going up. Washing machines are going up. All electronics are going up. All this, that kind of stuff has gone up a lot. Go to Best Buy and you'll see some of this stuff. Go online. Let's give you another example. Toyota has announced, or I think they're going to announce, that they're going to take the tariffs and whatever the tariff amount is for all their 26 cars coming in. I could be wrong, but this is what I think I understand. They're going to just cut it up and they're going to eat it, okay? And it only charge like $200 or something for everybody for it. But they didn't say that they're going to keep the incentives in there. So what starts happening is it's like getting a cheaper ticket on the plane and suddenly you got to pay for you to go to the bathroom, right? So here you are in a situation where they're going to go, hey, well, we're going to keep the numbers, but you're not getting that incentive to come in and buy, which is what they normally have. So it really means the price is going up. So when you see stuff like this, look at used cars. I think they said the average, there's like people are paying like $30,000. That's like an average for used cars. Wow. I remember my first car was like $7,000. I mean, and I had to pay one. I mean, this is crazy. So when you don't tell me there's no inflation, certain things are a little bit cheaper, but right now, short term, you want to play short term, long term. Oil's going up because of what's going on in the Middle East. It'll go back down. I mean, because the Saudis will play it and everything. So, but that stuff's happening. But what was the word I kept using? Stagflation. So we'll see. I said it was going to start in May and June. It hasn't hit hard, but it's hitting. Go out and buy a washer or a dryer and see what it costs you. I know you don't do that. That's not, you're not, it's like, I used to like to watch The Price is Right when I was a little kid, when I'd be homesick, and I'd see how much the prices were. I was pretty good. But you saw how wrong so many people were because they never went to the store. So I'm saying to my friend here, I'm an on-the-ground guy, except that I will help push back in. If he sits there with his golf swing and makes a rut, I'll take it and put it back in for him because that's what I did as a caddy, okay? So I'm down in the grass, in the weeds, looking at the numbers and seeing what's going on. You're going with the big stuff because the big guy says
He
it.
says in his area prices are going down.
Who said that? Wait. Joe.
Objective parameter that we can look at.
Joe, what prices are going down?
Ask Steve.
That's Steve. Okay, I'm looking. I haven't been in the pit for a while. Let me see here. Steve, what prices are going down? We love these guys. God, I love these guys. Some great comments in here.
I know, great comments.
Yeah, it's just really tremendous comments. I'm just so happy. Denied, Richard. Pay your dues, get in line. I agree. Get in line. Let them get in line, Jeff. Right now, there's no line. That's the problem. Dyed hair is unbecoming on men. Well, I can tell you this. I'm getting a little gray on the side, see? You see the gray there? That ain't dye. You can't like dye half and do it up. And dye half and do it. You either dye it or you don't dye it. Yeah, they think I'm dyeing it half gray, Joe. It doesn't work that way. It's real color, guys. It ain't that good, and it's real hair. But look at that. It's real. I'm sorry. It's real. I don't know what that is. Beyond bald pate.
I thought they were talking about my hair and dyeing my hair.
Yeah, you're dyeing your hair. I tell you, man. You're happy. Okay. Who self-deport should be given preferred? Maybe, Michael. I don't know, but that'll never happen. If you leave this country, you ain't getting back in. It's not going to be that easy. If they didn't want to pay taxes, not receive anything they should leave. Crunchy, but they did pay taxes and they're not receiving anything. They don't want to leave. They're happy to pay it. That's what you're missing. If these people these good people, we're talking about the good immigrants, who are most of them, always the great majority. It's like, in LA and some of these other cities, hasn't been bad, but LA, most of the people are cool there. They had a couple rioters. They said it's dirty. I heard Christy Nome say this. I was in LA a little while back. It was dirty then too. What is she going to come in and sweep? So, you got some rioters. You always get a few that are bad, that are looking to make trouble. You have that. But most of the immigrants are good people. They're trying. So, hey, Crunchy, they're doing what you want. We Trump supporters, not buyers. Remorse. Where's Joseph? We finally have a president that's doing what he said he would. Wait a second. Promises made. Joseph, he said peace. Weren't you listening? P-E-A-C-E. Joe, where did we say peace? That's not a promise kept.
We talked about it earlier.
Yeah. That's sorry, peace. He's blown peace, Joseph. Tell me how that's a promise kept. Dr. D.V. Oh, my Lord. Doctor, Maverick loves you.
That was, I guess, another one of his promises. He was going to get rid of all the bad guys, all the bad hombres.
All of them.
And,
all of them.
I don't know. I slept through the weekend. Has anything bad happened this weekend that would suggest the country's not that safe?
Can I answer Mike's question first? Mike the Norm, he's always one. I owe him an answer if he asks. Mike, this is what I'm saying, and I've been saying this for a while about our education system. There is no teaching of our history. There is no teaching of our civics. When I grew up, when Joe grew up, we learned history, American history and world history. Of course, it's through whatever, we learned American history. I'm sorry, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I sang my George Washington song for you a couple of times. I grew up loving George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and having to memorize the presidents and having to talk about the capitals of the country, of each state in the country. Remember, you used to get those little jigsaw puzzles, Joe? You had to know who the capital was and put it in there. That's when we learned. No, they don't teach that in school because everything is STEM. Now, Joe will love that because he's the scientist. Joe's the genius with the doctor, the research, who knows how to do it all. I'm not joking. It's real. I tell it the way it is. I'm not sarcastic when it comes to my buddy and my PB. That's real. But I think STEM got overrated. I think you learn STEM through a liberal arts knowledge. I think that's where Americans were so strong because you went in, you learned about your country, you learned about your history, you learned about your civics, you just learned about people, you learned about the people around you, you learned about it makes you learn more, makes you want to learn, makes you want to think, makes you want to go crazy, it makes you want to listen to music. I'm going to jump right in, okay? Because I'm all worked up. Everybody's worked up. I'm going to go back into the pit, but quickly, hang with us. We always have our album of the week. It's really becoming an album, 2 albums of the week. Warren Zevon. Joe, where was the London? Come on, who doesn't know that song? Warren, but it's not only a great song, Joe. This is a great album. This was Linda Ronstadt loved them. They were very close. And the guys who played with Linda Ronstadt, Waddy Wachtel and all those guys are on this album. I saw Warren in front with me. He opened for Stevie Winwood. Oh, he was so good. But this album, okay, Excitable Boy. This is the album you want to get because the music on here, oh man, it opens up. Johnny strikes up the band. Understand, rolling the headless Thompson gunner. Understand something. Don't leave us. Just listen for a little bit. Oh, look. We'll get to that. We have Werewolves in London. Nighttime in the switching yard. Incredible. Lawyers, guns, and money's become big. Send lawyers, guns, and money, try to pay them off and say that they can't practice in a federal court. That wasn't in any of that. But what's incredible, let me just tell you about this album, and Joe will tell you, I'm a hard rocker. I mean, I love music. I grew up on Broadway and all that stuff, but I love it loud. I like it hard. I want my ears to ring when it's over. My ears have been ringing since I can't remember. I remember the Hendrix concert I left. And my ears were ringing, and I still turned on another album. And I came back, my mother banged, turn that off. She's yelling, leave me alone, Mom. They were right next door, my mother and my father. I couldn't listen to my music. Either way, this album is it loud? It's just great. The words are great. Everything, they're tight. Get this album, Excitable Boy, Warren Zevon. He had a couple other albums after, but nothing came close to this, okay? Remember, the werewolf, his hair was perfect. Okay, let's get back to where we're going. You see, you got to just lay it out. You go, yeah, Warren Zevon, Excitable Boy. You just start singing. Everybody starts retching because they hear me sing. Let me tell you, I know better than you when you did your rap for the Eagles. Okay, well, I don't know what that thing was. So we're sitting there, and we come on there. Oh, I want to turn this album on. Listen, when you listen to this album, put on the headphones, listen to the first side. And let me tell you, where we're different than a lot of us, what was good for the way we grew up was we had to use our imagination. We weren't watching things all the time. Either TV was on or off. I wasn't allowed to watch TV during the week. So you had to get into things. And you listen to music. Sorry, Joe, don't mean to keep up my hand in front of your face. You listen to music and it just makes you think. And it makes you kind of think about different ideas. I can think about Mike, what you're saying. I can think Crunchy, what you're saying. I could think Spartacus, what you're saying. Or come on, man, I can think. And you think about it. It makes, are they right? Can they be wrong? Where does it go? You don't do that when you're looking at videos. You don't do that when you're just looking at one little short. That's what's so great about music. Listen to this first side of the album. Oh, my Lord. And you end with accidentally like a martyr. I want to turn it on. Then you just sit back, let it calm down for a bit, and then go into the second side. Don't take calls. Don't take anybody banging on you. Don't read anything. Close your eyes. Sit back. Turn it on. And love it. I'm telling you, it changes your life. It just makes it happen. I wish more of Joe's patients would listen to music. I don't know how important it is to his. He can't talk about that stuff, but I really believe it just soothes the savage soul. It just does, and it makes you think. Don't use your video.
Let me add this.
Go ahead, Joe.
There's plenty of data to show that listening to music helps people feel calmer and improves mood. It does a lot of good psychological things to help people. But here's another thing that music does, and we saw this an awful lot when we were in our day, that music also provided a sense of community, that people would sit around and listen to music together. They would go to concerts together. There'd be fans of different groups, and it would bring people together. And sometimes I feel that that's a little bit lacking these days, that people feel isolated. And I think that's a cause of why people are so distressed right now. And so for us, music is also community, connecting, being part of a group.
The problem is just such a, well said. Really well said, Joe. But the problem is you can't afford to go to a concert anymore. I mean, when we went, I remember I was a kid, I still see pictures like $4, $5, $6 to see Hendrix. And it got up, maybe you're paying $15 because they wanted to get on the road to sell records. But now they don't sell records. So they want to make their money on the road. They got to pay hundreds of dollars for a concert. Some people told me, I said, yeah, I paid like $5 to see Hendrix. I paid like $5 to see the Stones, the first concert. How can that be, Mark? I said, well, that's the way it was back then. You're right, Joe. We all got together. We were able to come together. Music, you can still come together and crank it up and make it happen because you turn it up loud enough, you can all talk. You can't hear anybody else. Turn off the video. Video's cool. Turn off the video. You know they're getting weak with videos. They keep throwing into my feed Lucy. Lucy, I love Lucy videos. Now, just so you'll know, I love Lucy. But when you look at Lucy for a minute short, it isn't funny. People go, yeah, it isn't funny. You have to watch the show to understand. You have to listen to the album. You have to listen to the music to understand. And then to understand that that's what you have to do. I'm sorry, that's just where we are. But Joe, I'm with you with that. Okay, let's keep going. I'm very worried. And we have to get to what I think is maybe the most important thing. And I'm going to come to you with this, Joe. I'm going to start a little bit. Is this hatred in America? And I'm beyond worried about it, okay? I always read about it. This is what you read about in history. This is what you read about. You say, wow. I mean, remember, during the Revolution, the guys had tarred and feathered people. They put tar on them and feather, and then sometimes they, oh my God, you burn them or something. Wow, what they did to people is you couldn't take it off. You ripped your skin off. I mean, people are always nasty to people, but it's time you get calm times. But right now, what's going on in this country? I'm not worried. The other countries are fighting, okay? Why are we fighting with each other? Now we have this guy who puts on his police uniform and runs around and starts shooting people in Minnesota. Minnesota is America.
Minnesota, nice.
Right, but Texas is America. Montana is America. Alabama is America. New York is America. California is America. We all have to start understanding. Instead, everybody, so folks, immigrants this and focused on this and focused on that. We are America. And that's how we have to start working together to do it. I'm tired of this hatred splitting us apart. It's horrible. What's great here is I haven't gone back into the mosh pit, but we have a great mosh pit, Joe. I see you looking at it.
I love the mosh pit.
Right.
I love the discussion.
Right, because we think it's great that everybody's talking. We think, let it out. Let us know. You think I'm loon? Fine. You think I put gray in my hair? Fine. I don't care. You see all this kind of stuff. That's what we encourage. That's what's so great. Why is there need for such hatred? Why is there a need to just want to just not like the person who's sitting next to you? You want to find a reason to be separate. Why? Why? That's what lawyers are supposed to be for. You get mad, you go to court, and let the lawyers yell at everybody. It doesn't work. Yeah, you get mad somebody's fence is on your easement, okay. But come on, man. This is horrible. People are just coming at each other. And it starts from the bottom. You go after an immigrant. You go after a friend. You go after the guy down the road. You go after the woman here. You go after there. We are Americans. Americans. That's how I look at us. And those that are here should know better and know that we quit hating one another. Quit killing one another. And then if we can come together, we know how to deal with those that are outside trying to come after us. But until we can look at one another and say we are one, we are really one, and it doesn't matter anything else, it's not going to work, Joe. And I don't see how it's going to start. You could have all the gun laws you want, doesn't work. You could have no gun laws, it doesn't work. Got a friend says, I got 5 guns. I'm going, you got 2 arms. I mean, what good's 5 guns? What are you going to do? Carry 2 of them with your feet and use your toes? I mean, but I'm saying that's the mentality. Right on. You got the right to own them. Don't misread what I'm saying. We've always been big supporters of the Second Amendment. Right, Joe? Right on. Okay?
Amendments.
All of them. I'm a believer, though, of course, that I think the state should have certain rights. And so far, the Supreme Court's with the Second Amendment's given them with assault weapons a little bit of right to play with it, but not much so far. But either way, you have that right. So if you have that right, that's not the answer. That's not the answer, because if all you're worried about is somebody coming after you, what kind of a life is that? We have to worry about we are coming together, okay? And I'm not talking about love. I'm not talking about peace. I'm not talking about harmony. And yeah, I mean, I lived through that. I saw it. That's all hackneyed, okay? We just have to talk straight to people. We have to talk from the heart. We have to let people know that just because this guy who's president says he's talking from the heart and people believe it, I don't believe it. Oh, he's talking from the heart that moment. I believe that. But we need people who are talking from the heart who really love this country, who aren't out looking to make crypto money for themselves, who aren't out looking to try to take it from this country, who are looking to make this country better because it's a great country. And that's where our educational system stinks, because we do not teach our children what this country is built on. We do not teach our children how great this country is, period. And that's what the problem is. STEM, goodbye. Plenty of scientists, plenty of math, plenty of smart guys like Joe. It's about time people understood that we are all one. Joe, I got to calm down. I'm throwing it to you.
The soup. We got to get back to the soup. What makes this country great is all the various ingredients that we put into the pot. You stir it up and you come up with something that's better than any particular part. You eat beans, but you put beans in the pot, you got something going on. You add a little bit of meat to it. You add some spices to it. You got something that's really tasty. And that's what's made this country work great in the past. And that's what I'm afraid that we're beginning to lose now, that people want to split up the pot. They want to take the beans out. They want to take the spices out, and you're going to be left with something bland that's not going to be nearly as much fun or nearly as much effective in solving our problems. I wish we could spend some time talking about what are the problems in the United States right now and the world, and what practically can we do to solve them. Talking together, not talking against each other. You don't listen to somebody just because they're wearing the right hat. You listen to somebody because they have some logic in what they say. And that doesn't mean logic is just pure facts. Logic also includes your passion, your feeling, what you would like to see with your life. And I fear that when it comes to some of the topics that we talked about today, immigration, there's not a discussion about how to solve the issue of immigration. It's more of get rid of these people, keep these people. It's pure feeling and no sense of trying to find a solution for it. Dealing with the issues in the Middle East. Again, it's whose side are you on versus what's the problem? What can we do to resolve the issue? How to deal with inflation, how to deal with the economy. There's not a rational discussion. And look to the politicians, the Democrats and Republicans, you still don't see very many individuals within either party that are looking for solutions. They're just looking to make political points.
That's the game.
Before we lose all the viewers, let me give it back to you, Mark.
Well, thank you. Joe can't get the emotion out, but he believes in what he says. It's vital. It's right on. It's like no jive, okay? It's there. But let me get to Richard. Richard, your parents came over, your greats came over in 1720. Did they have a land grant from England? Did they have something from Spain? Did the Queen give them rights to live here? I mean, how do you know they came here legally? They may have just been in some boat and came over because they had to leave because they were thrown out because they were practicing the wrong religion. Who knows, right? So they're no different, Richard. We were all from somewhere else. I mean, what's even crazier is when the continents were attached, people walked across the continents and came over. So, I mean, hey, we're all that way. But right now, there are borders, and we believe in borders, and our borders are covered. Now we got to take care of ourselves. Now we got to look inside. Because the other thing we have to start looking at is this. I mean, I'm not going to be, I read this, so it's not just me, and I read it from some guys who I consider pretty smart, and we talked about it, and someone said, Mark, you're just being a sensationalist, and that's generally not me. I'm not sensational, but I can get crazy, but I'm not sensational. But think about what's been going on. We had in Ukraine, they were able to sneak in all those drones into Russia and shoot them off. In Israel was able to go into Iran and put drones in and get the Mossad and shoot them all off and just take out a chunk of their air defenses. You're telling me we don't have people here who've been cruising in and getting ready? I don't want to hear Sleepy Joe let him in, or this one let him in, or that one let him in. I would be worrying about that. I wouldn't be worrying about the people who are pulling the strawberries out of the fields. Strawberry fields forever. We just love our music. What am I going to tell you? I've been waiting to throw that in there. So So you have that going on. That's what we should be looking at. We should be worrying about that internally. Yeah, we're worried about around the world, but why aren't we looking at this? Why aren't we saying, are we defended? Or can we defend ourselves? Or can we have our electrical grids taken out? I know, what was it, a couple of years ago, Joe? It was like 3-4 years ago. Weren't there a couple of guys that got picked up trying to take out an electrical grid? They got lucky. They knocked out part of it, and they called them and went after them. You don't know what's going to happen. We got to be looking for this. And those are just guys going in and doing it on their own. Guys, I think, gender neutral. We got to worry about those drones. We have to worry about all this as Americans. That's why it's so important. We come together and start looking at one another and saying, we got to quit yelling at each other. And we have to start worrying about what we're going to do to take care of ourselves, to make sure we're okay, and then to become, once again, hopefully the welcoming great country that we once were. But until then, we have to start welcoming each other and say, you're my friend. We're here. We're Americans. I'm just an American citizen. That's what my channel is. And you are no different, okay? And nobody is any different. So when people say, when people come at you and get in your face, you go, I'm sorry. I love you. You're my friend. I don't care if you disagree with me. You know how many buddies I got who think I'm crazy? Well, that's been going on for a long time in my life, Joe. I don't know what to say about that. You knew a lot of them then when we were pledging. I mean, you're talking 55 years ago. So, okay, crazy. But I get along with my buddies. Why? Because we're buddies. We're Americans. We're friends. We share the same thing. Joe talks about that little stew. Joe, the thing with Joe and I kind of make a difference. A little bit of difference. That stew is so good because our equal rights, our Constitution is in there. That's what everybody comes over here for. Those rights to be able to live good, to be in a country where you can be safe and live well and raise your family and just enjoy your family and do things and be a dad and have a happy Father's Day and do things like that. That's where we are. And then you take those spices and you throw it in. You have those rights and you layer those rights with those spices, the differences of people and how we can make it better and how we work it together. But we all share those rights. We all share that stew. That's what America is. That's what we have to teach. That's what we have to believe. And we need leaders that come at you from the heart, that aren't going to put money in their pocket because all those politicians do. And they got to change the laws about them being able to trade stocks. I don't know why they won't do it. Well, because they're making so much money, I assume. Every time they know Trump's going to do something, they make a trade, make their money. But yeah, the politicians are going to make money. But what we need are leaders that are going to come in and love this country and let you know why they love this country, because they're in there. They're not just talking, they're making it happen. And I don't think what my personal opinion is, we don't have that right now. We just don't have that. When you listen to people like Kristi Noem and all of them and the BS they're putting out there, well, she's going to liberate America. She's going to liberate LA from the socialists. Well, that's nice to know. LA had an election. They elected their mayor. That's where they live. That's what they do. What are we talking about here, okay? So it's sad. But these people who are all performative, who are all out there, just remember, that's where we are. You and me, whether you disagree with me or not. My big brother in college, he and I are totally the other way. If I saw him, I couldn't wait to hug him and see him. I loved him. What can I tell you? So that's where we are with this. That's where we have to go. That's what's so important. We have to start looking at ourselves as Americans, as one, and pick leaders who aren't going to lay the BS on you and say, oh, we got to do this. They actually come out and say, I love my country. And I'm running because I love my country. And when we start hearing that, then we will know we have leaders. When we start hearing that, people will start believing, because that's what people want, is to understand that. We all know we're different in so many ways. We all know we accept our differences in so many ways. But this is all our country. And when we finally stand up together and say it, we get leaders who say, I love my country. That's when things will start turning, and they haven't turned yet, because I still don't hear any leaders getting up there saying in their first line, I love my country. And when you start hearing that, the people here, it won't matter if they're left, right, or in the middle. All of our people talking, our commentators who I absolutely love and respect, they'll all come aboard. I just believe it. That's where I am, Joe. Joe? What do you think? I'm all sweaty and worked up. I don't know what to say. I love our country, Joe.
I love the chat today. You made a lot of good comments, Mark. And I think that there's some issues that, we really deserve to spend a little bit more time talking about, including the economy, including this big, beautiful bill that they want to get through Congress, and how to deal with issues of immigration. And I'm really interested to get some feedback from people. And when I get feedback from people who agree with me, that's great. But when I get feedback from people who disagree with me, that's also good to help me to learn. And I've been around the sun a few times, but I'm not too old to learn new things. And so I'm really interested to find out from the community, and I see this as a community, what we can do to move the country forward. So
I'll tell you.
enjoy this Father's Day. Let's take a step back and enjoy this wonderful day that we have in front of us. And I'm going to see some of my kids and probably hear some the ones who aren't around on text messaging and stuff. And again, congratulations to the fathers out there, and to men who help raise families, and they deserve a day off today.
Let me tell you something. Joe, I hear his stomach rumbling because he's already eating heavily with the kids and rock and roll, but they're right about that. Can you keep this in mind again? Fathers are cool. Fathers are great. If you love your kids and you work with your kids and you're just there for them, you're good. It doesn't matter what your politics is. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. And that's what's great about Father's Day. And I'm telling you, I got my calls. I loved it. He got his calls. I hope you're all getting your calls because, man, family is the way to go. If it make it work, family is great. America is great. My buddy Joe is great. And all of you are too, okay? We are on every Wednesday at 5 p.m. We're on here at 11. You guys are great. We love you. Please communicate. Please keep contacting Devo. Warren Zevon, excitable boy. We love you. Remember two other things. If you're square, we're not there. And if you need an alarm clock in your music to wake people up, you're not rock. Joe, what do you say? And that's the way it is.
Period.
We'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks for coming.